Now, page 4, the Obama fundamental transformation of the United States military. In short, it's an emasculated, impotent, social petri dish. Now, not talking about our warriors, the guys who volunteer to fight. They have not changed. They are the best. What has changed is the military structure. It's been Obama-tized, cut, forced to be politically correct, turned into the Pentagon's version of the Peace Corps. And it's all because Obama hates the military almost as much as he hates this country. And here's further proof. Army Chief of Staff General Ray Odierno, after 39 years in uniform, he's retiring. He's spent more years in Iraq than any other commander. You know what he's saying upon exit? What we are witnessing in Iraq right now, the genocide being committed by the Islamic State, could have been prevented. All of it. That is, if Obama hadn't made his purely political move to withdraw all U.S. forces from Iraq. In other words, all this death, all this murder, all of this terror is the result of the 44th president's ideology-driven decisions. But most of us know this. Most of us understand this in our hearts. Even this rogue president knows what he did by not drafting a status of forces agreement with Iraq is why the Islamic State moved in when U.S. troops pulled out.
Remaining relentless in our counterterrorism operations against al-Qaeda.
Stop the tape. So this is the president who just happened to be on watch when our guys who had been pursuing Osama bin Laden for many, many years, he just happened to be president when they got him. And of course, he seized the moment. And we no longer have to worry about al-Qaeda, he said. He said al-Qaeda is on the run. Well, al-Qaeda is surging in the Arabian Peninsula right now. We know this to be true. In fact, they helped topple the Yemeni regime. It's a mess there. It's chaos in part because of al-Qaeda. But I'll tell you something else that this was underreported, was that when we got Osama bin Laden, we got all these paperwork. And when the Obama people were sifting through the paperwork, they realized that al-Qaeda was not on the run, that it wasn't fitting his narrative to be reelected in 2012. So you know what they did? They stopped looking. They sealed it up, and it's somewhere, probably with Hillary Clinton's email server. Roll tape.
Likewise, we stand together, a coalition of some 60 nations, including Arab partners, in the fight against ISIL.
Stop the tape. You call this a fight? Switchblades against bazookas. This isn't a fight, it's pinpricks. Bombing when you don't know exactly what you're targeting? This is crazy. Roll tape.
I firmly believe that the United States should not be engaged in another major ground war in the Middle East. That's not good for our national security, and it's not good for our military.
Stop the tape. So is it good for our national security to have genocide taking place in the Middle East right now? Is it good for our national security for the Islamic State to exist and to thrive in 2 countries in the Middle East, Iraq and Syria, and continue to recruit some people from our country? Is that good for our national security? Roll tape.
Can do, and what we are doing is to pound ISIL from the air. More than 50,000 airstrikes so far, while training and supporting local forces on the ground in Iraq and Syria as they fight to push ISIL back.
Stop the tape. A couple of things on this. First of all, did you know that most of our bombers, our Air Force, is coming back fully loaded? Over 50%. You know why? Because there's no ground reconnaissance. They don't want to hit friendly targets, of course. And as far as the recruitment, 60 people have been trained so far in Iraq. 60. Yeah, that's going to do it, Mr. President. Roll tape.
Recent losses on the battlefield show that ISIL can be defeated.
Stop the tape. Now, this is stunning to me. Does this sound like the leader of the free world? Does this sound like the commander-in-chief? That these cockroaches, yeah, they can be defeated? No, we need to go out there and pound them into submission. That's what this guy needs to say. That's what the commander-in-chief of the United States needs to say. We're going to go and we are going to wipe these suckers out. It's embarrassing. So here's the sad but moving part. In fact, it's inspiring, makes us proud. Some of our combat veterans are as embarrassed by this man and as frustrated with his policies as we are. And do you know what some of them are doing? They're going back. They are returning to Iraq on their own dime and with their own weapons to beat back the Islamic State. That is the American spirit that still exists despite 6 devastating years of attempting to turn our warriors into little puny community organizers.